How are you doing, my fantastic and beautiful online family? My name is Elisha Hall, and we're going to dive into a fantastic topic today of the three most predominant success killers out there. Now, they're not the only ones, but they are the most predominant. I'm going to tell you why that is during this video. Also, a lot of times we talk about what to go after to create the life you want, what to do, what to strive for. But I'm sure you also want to know what to avoid. And that's what we're going to talk about on this Midweek Motivation. So if you're ready, let's go. So as you already know, if you've seen any of these videos, I'm a humongous fan of creating a lot of energy, excitement, motivation, and inspiration right smack in the middle of your week. Usually they call it hump day because the idea is being able to get over the hurdle and the hump of the middle of the week so that way we can end the week strong. We don't want to do these videos on Friday because we already have a lot of energy on Friday for the weekend. We don't want to do these on Monday because we still have energy from the weekend. So right smack in the middle of your week is your midweek motivation. And from there, we're going to use this in order to help catapult us through the end of the week so it can be the most amazing week possible, which will lead to a fantastic month, which will create a fantastic year. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love the word fantastic. I like fantastic, awesome, outstanding. I love these big descriptive words because that's the kind of life that I want to create for myself. See, it goes beyond just the positive thinking. It's also about how to create and live in our happiness, not just consistently be on that personal pursuit of happiness, because if we're always pursuing it, we never obtain it. Think about how to actually obtain it. And that's what I'm on a mission to create, not just for myself, but for everybody else. So as we dive into this topic of the three most predominant success killers, the way I came to this is because I've had the amazing privilege of interviewing and being mentored by and being coached by and connecting with some of the most successful people in the world. I mean, we're talking about CEOs of Fortune 100 and 500 companies. We're talking about the likes of, being mentored by people that aren't even around anymore, like, for example, Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn. But then also some amazing individuals you may have heard of, like Jack Canfield, author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, as well as Les Brown and John Maxwell, just to name a few. Even people like Gary Vee and Mark Zuckerberg and Mark Cuban and Grant Cardone and Damon John. See, some fantastic people that are just killing the game right now. And from that, being able to learn from them what it is that they did and what it is that they avoided and what they learned along the way of their journey. Because all these people that I just mentioned, none of them were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They all came from nothing to create something fantastic, not just for themselves, but also for their family and literally shifting their family tree. So with that being said, things to avoid. We're talking about the three most predominant success killers. And in working with these people, these are the things that I found. The first one, it actually involves more than just you. Now, you actually attract it, but it's something as simple as this. You'll notice that when people complain, then there's other people that tend to listen, and they also add on to that complaint with their complaints. And then others add on to it with their complaint. And then more add on to it, add on to it, add on to it. All of a sudden we have this thing called a pity party. And if you think about it, we see this happen on social media all the time. We see it happen in real life all the time, around the water cooler or work. Now here's the thing about that. Being able to avoid the pity party, when you see it, run from it. And also, when you complain about things and you notice that other people are enabling that complaint or adding to that complaint, then you notice that a pity party is starting up. See, you could be the one to add on to it, or you could be the one to start it and create it. When we complain, we don't always see it when we complain as a bad thing. But once others start chiming in, once others start adding into that conversation, it's easier to recognize it. That's why the pity party is such an important one, because we can recognize it when others start piling in on top of that conversation. Now, the second one is crappy questions. See, crappy questions equal crappy answers. See, crappy questions equal crappy answers. It's a tongue twister. But the beautiful thing about it is when you recognize that you can fix it. See, think about this. If we ask ourselves the question, now we do this all the time, sometimes in our head, sometimes out loud. But if you ask yourself, why am I so dumb? Why am I so stupid? Why do things never work for me? Why do I always get things wrong? Why is it that I can't ever remember anything? See, if we form these questions in negative space, the way the mind works, it's an organ, but it's a computer. And the mind works to always answer a question that we pose to it. So if I'm saying, why am I always overweight? It's because you eat too much, dummy. Why am I always not getting things right? Oh, because you're an idiot, because you can't get anything right, just like your teachers told you in school. If you ask yourself crappy questions, you're gonna get crappy answers. Now, if you rephrase the question, so instead of saying, why is it that I always fail at everything? What if you said, what do I need to do in order to succeed at something? Oh, well, we've never tried this or this, or we did this and it didn't work, but maybe if we turned it around and did it a little bit differently, what is it that I can do to maybe lose an extra pound this week or 2 pounds this week? Maybe we could park a little further away from work and we could walk. Or maybe we could actually get one of those Fitbits and track our steps, and then we could see if we're making progress on our movement throughout the day and throughout the week. So your mind starts thinking of ways to make it happen. How about if you ask yourself, what is it that I can do to succeed in this to make it different than the other things that I failed at? Or how can I take this failure and learn from it to use it to succeed in this next thing? And then your brain says, wow, maybe we could do this, maybe we could do this. Your brain will automatically start looking for answers to the questions you pose to it. But if you ask it crappy questions, you'll get crappy answers. So think about that. Crappy questions equals crappy answers. Almost like a tongue twister. All right, so here we go. Now the last success killer is blame. See, blame is a small word, but it has some heavy weight to it. One of the things that I was working with a handful, actually a group of about 5 CEOs, very, very successful CEOs. And one of the things that we talked about was that anything that happens that's good in the organization, then we always give that praise downward in the organization. It's all because of the team, the organization, the company, the members that have made that happen. But anytime there's something that goes wrong, we accept the responsibility of that thing that went wrong. Okay? So the idea of that blame of that things that go wrong, they're my responsibility. Things that go right are the team's responsibility. It's the team that's accountable that made that happen. Now, here's the interesting thing about that. Whether you're the very successful CEO of a large organization, or you're an entrepreneur of one, or you have a small team of 3, responsibility is the exact same thing. Because if I make a decision to take responsibility for the things that happen in my business, whether it's the team, whether it's the marketing, whether it's the financial aspect, whether it's the legal side, whatever's going on in my business, as the head of that, just like in my life, as the head of my specific life, when I take responsibility of things that go on, then I've decided to take responsibility for changing the future of my life, my business, and every aspect of everything that I do. See, now, even if we recognize the things that we can't change, let's say if I am a business and I'm affected because there's a downturn in the economy. Yes, we get that the downturn in the economy is an outside external factor, but did I over leverage my company? So that way I was impacted harder than I should have been. Did I hire more people than I should have? Did I spend more money than I should have? Did I do all these different extravagant things that shouldn't have been done? Same thing with my life. In my personal life, when things happen that I can't control because externally someone does something to me, how did I allow that person in to be able to affect me that way? How did I allow that person to impact my life to that capacity? So that way I can learn from that, not allow it to happen again, because now I'm accepting responsibility for my life. I'm accepting responsibility for my business. And the things that I want to change, I change them. So if there had to be any order of what would be the number 1 success killer, it's blame. That would mean that the number 1 success amplifier, or the success modifier, or something that adds to success, like a steroid to success, is taking responsibility. See, you can look at these potholes and say, okay, well, if these are the success killers, then if I do the opposite of that, then that must be a success friend, something that's helpful to success, a success booster. What I would really love to hear from you in the comments is, what would you say is another success killer that you've seen, that in your personal life, in books that you've read, something that is a success killer. So I appreciate you as always for checking out this video. And from that, if you like the video, then go ahead and share it, because I guarantee you anything that connects with you and touches with you, if it's that energy that just makes sense to you in here, then it's also going to make sense to the people that you know. Whether you think of it as law of attraction or what have you, the beautiful thing is we are so much stronger as a community. We're so much stronger when we connect with each other, when we share amazing things with each other, and we uplift each other. We're so much stronger together than we are separately. So let's walk that hall to success together.